If you've ever taken a trade with your own trading plan, only to see that it also fits into Nancy Pelosi's trading plan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because you made bank. Pelosi never seems to lose. We're going to go ahead and figure out what we can make bank off today. Happy Tuesday. Good to see everybody back. Let's roll it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks. I hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday. I am your host, Ryan Faloona, and we are going to get back to this market. I got my man 13 in the back. 13, how you doing? Perfect timing with the coffee cup and everything. It's like we planned that. That was awesome.
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just, trying to calm down from dealing with traffic outside of this house.
I don't know if there's many things in the world that boil my blood more than traffic, especially useless traffic with people that aren't paying attention. But I digress. I'm glad that you made it back here. What's going on with Bitcoin?
Oh, this is something I think we were talking about yesterday with some of the chat, and they were mentioning the halving. I think this is what it was. And chat, you tell me if this is what you were looking for here. But man, ever since this happened, all of the Bitcoin names just flooded my scanner. So we have, of course, some of the usual suspects: CLSK, Mara, Riot, MSTR. Those are all doing pretty well today.
Yeah, they sure are. I suspect that we are going to have a Bitcoin fueled day. Lots of different tickers for us to trade. You folks want to trade the coins, I think you're going to have opportunities to do that. We'll see. Let's take a look here at the broader market. We're taking a look at the SPY. I know we're higher here in the morning, but remember, the one thing that I'm looking for here with the SPY, especially in terms of this pattern, is do we roll over and actually test some of these levels that we have clearly defined, or do we roll over a little bit only to gap up on some type of data print and set new highs? And that's kind of where we're at right now. It sure looked like SPY wanted to kind of roll over, but buyers are stopping it here. Now, we did have a couple of things. Of course, Viking Therapeutics up 100+%. We'll take a look at that. There are a couple of things that are driving this market here. So maybe we don't get that rollover, but this is kind of what I'm watching here. I'm still overall in the bearish camp. There's just so much concentration in wealth in a lot of these names, and I want to see some of the other names actually start to participate. I know Portillos reported earnings here this morning. They're trading up. I'd like to see some stocks that aren't part of the Mag 7 actually catch a bid for more than just a 20-minute period. So we'll see if we end up getting any of that here. Do you have anything on the SPY in terms of levels or where we go, or maybe what piece of news might affect this, or really anything, 13?
Yeah, so me and another gentleman here in Happy Hour chat noticed yesterday that we were forming a bit of a head and shoulders pattern over the past few days trading. I don't know if you have a 5-minute chart, you can probably see it better on the SPY, but we came up and tested the neckline again. And if this pattern resolves like it's supposed to, we should start to trade down under 506 today.
So just to make sure I'm looking at the same thing, do we have left shoulder here, head here, right shoulder here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so you're thinking that we might test this neckline right in here and then actually move down as a next move. Okay. We should know pretty quickly if that's actually going to pan out here.
Yeah, because the neckline is at 507, and if we start trading up above there and hold that, then probably going to start seeing a breakdown of the pattern. But if we continue to drop, then we're seeing that pattern resolve in the way that it should. So that could mean there's more downside ahead.
Okay.
Other than that, it really feels like we have topped out, because I cannot seem to find anything to buy for a long-term hold that isn't already really extended high. And now we have some of these big players like Zuckerberg and Bezos and Jamie Dimon that's selling their stocks and their companies. That could mean that they also think that there's, we're not really going to be going any higher if we're at peak, valuation. So that's, there's a lot of concerning things happening, and I think we should be getting the downside we've been thinking we should be getting, for a while now.
Yeah, remember, the market loves to remain irrational longer than we can remain solvent. So what we're going to do is try and make smart decisions every single day, try and find some. I was bringing up Amazon here to show some of those Jeff Bezos sells that you were talking about. So, okay, good stuff. I know that there is a lot of stuff moving around here. David saying, Ryan, still have your PANW? No. So PANW, what an absolute monster. I know I was kind of joking in my intro here. I was joking about this also being a Pelosi trade. I know Pre-Market Prep did an awesome job of covering that here this morning on all of that. But no, I mean, look, we talked about the setup for this being very, very clear, right? 3 closes above the 200-day. We got it. I actually probably had a little bit late of an entry there. This stock was an absolute ripper yesterday. I sold this, booked gains 25 plus points. I was looking for maybe a bounce to 300. I ended up getting almost 308. I think 307.69 was the fill order there. I am out. That trade is booked. It was a monster. I didn't think it was going to work that fast, but it did work that fast. So really, really happy about that. I know Voodoo, you said a shout out earlier. I really appreciate that. Hey, look, if I can time things with what Pelosi is doing, giddy up. Let's go. I mean, obviously that had nothing to do with the trade plan, but I'll take it. It works out. So W here higher this morning. Actually, looks like it went all the way back to that 50. Looks like we had prints up in this 322. I'll tell you this, I'm not even mad about that.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah, very, very fast trade over the weekend. No big deal at all.
You got better than what you had planned for, and it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. Your plan worked. It worked better than expected. You got what you wanted, and now you're done.
Yeah,
that's a win. In any stretch of the imagination, that's a win.
Yeah, you know, the other thing here is that I know we focus, especially for like our intraday trading, we focus a lot on some of these junkier names that I really just have no confidence in holding. So it's nice to be able to trade something like Palo Alto, which I know what they do. I've watched them for a long time. I know how they trade. Feels good to be able to take it home at night and then have the trade plan work out. So I've told you guys a lot. I prefer to swing trade over day trade, but I play the hand that the market deals me on a regular basis. This setup was just simply too juicy. We executed it. We're moving on to the next. So, okay.
Look at Jay Rice's comment about insider selling. I love this comment because it's something important to highlight about this. Yes, many execs have long-term sell plans set up for years. That hasn't really been the case with those gentlemen that I was just mentioning. They've been selling over the course of days, not like, oh, I'm going to announce these plans and then I'm going to sell it later on. They did some of that, but some of these other sells that they've been doing happened much quicker than that. We're talking like over the course of just a few trading days. So that's different. And I think that's really worth, that's a great comment by him because it really points out how concerning the selling is right now with these insiders.
Yeah. And this is actually a great comment because one of the things when I started listening to people talk about insider selling and who knows more than the CEO or the CFO or whatever. And all of that's true. But as you just mentioned, there are other factors that play into these, like long-term plans where the sell dates are picked sometimes years in advance. There's a number of different things that can happen with people that have been given stock, especially if they've been given stock at a really, really low price. So if you're going to put that together as part of your thesis, it's important to know all of the inputs. Jay going on to say insider buying is a better indicator. And I agree with this too. I think that if you buy, you want to know the trader's time horizon, right? I mean, if I'm buying for a 10-year time horizon, that doesn't mean that my stock is expected to pop right after I buy it. But I agree with this overall. Buying, that means you're putting your money at risk for however, long of a period of time that is. I generally speaking, I think that this is exactly right. Insider selling, unless you have all of the details, hard to really make 2 cents of that. Insider buying, a little bit easier.
Yeah, and David does point out that there's a lot of insider selling for this year for tax purposes, and that's true. Yeah, it's just that there's typically not this amount, this size that they're doing. I think it's much outside, more outside the norm. But this is true. They do sell this time of year for tax purposes. Agreed.
And we've actually had this discussion on Happy Hour. I think this is a relevant point. This is especially true after previous years that were very, very good years, right? If you're up and you have a huge capital gains hit, what are you going to do? You're going to sell some of your winners to pay off that tax burden and then redeploy some of that capital. So totally makes sense. And some of these people with just these huge positions in some of these companies, definitely lightening that up makes some sense. I beg your pardon. Easy for me to say. Okay, let's go ahead and check some of the movers here today. I know that a couple of you are mentioning a few of them. Let's walk through some of them that might be in play today, and then we're really going to watch. I'm really excited to see how the market actually trades today, especially in some of these Bitcoin names. I know we talked a lot about the Bitcoin halving thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what that means specifically, and you know what that means for certain stocks and which Bitcoin's going to go to the moon and all that. I don't know any of that, so I'm not going to pretend to know any of that. However, I am long and strong on some of the actual coins themselves. I have been for a number of years. Nothing has changed there. And as far as like tactical new trades here today, we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that actually react to some of these Bitcoin names. A lot of the usual suspects that we've traded here before. So that, I think, is how we're going to handle this. Okay. First stock here, BBAI. This is trading up here in the pre-market. We're up 11.7% here in the pre-market. This is another AI name. It looks like we tested 3 and we're rejected here. Let me go ahead and add my VWAP back real quick. We're actually right above the VWAP, so it would be amazing if this could actually hold, push away, and then take out that $3 spot, especially if it could do that on volume. We'll see if BBAI, one of the stronger, smaller AI names, ends up getting in play here today. Did you have anything on BBAI before I move on?
No, I mean, the float is a little large compared to some of the other ones we've been trading, but they do have a pretty decent short interest, 17, almost 18% short interest, and their days to cover is 4.29. So maybe a little bit of a squeeze happening here, but if it goes to 3, great. I don't know where this is headed.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is about some of those squeezy names. I mean, we've seen before when this pops, it really likes to come back in. Let's see if we can get that squeeze effect to actually happen for more than one day at a time. We mentioned 3 as a potential level. I really don't have a level after that. That's really worth note until like 370. Maybe this one here at 325, maybe. But after that, probably 370 BBAI. Okay, the biggest mover here from this morning is Janux Therapeutics. All right, this is Janux shares are trading higher for the company. Announced updated clinical data for both its clinical programs. Actually, sorry, I'm having some trouble with my news feed here, so I don't have those numbers. 13, if you happen to have those handy, that would be awesome. But nonetheless, this stock up 137% today on those numbers. It's actually looks like it put in a high of just about 38.75 in the after-hour session yesterday. It looks like we're already on a march to try and test that level here in the pre-market. With such a huge move, I wouldn't be surprised if the first move out of the open here was down, maybe a little bit of profit taking. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if there were people also trying to file into this name. So just be careful off of that opening print. I would imagine if you're going to try and take a new trade on a stock that's up 140% today, you really want to be tactical about that. You almost certainly don't want to buy any type of upside rush. Like, we want to wait for this to kind of come back in. If you already had this from before, well, congratulations. Today is going to be a great day for you. So Janux Therapeutics. Did you have any news on this one, 13?
Yeah, so as you were mentioning, this was news in the afternoon hours that broke regarding results from test subjects that were taking some of their drug PSA 50 declines in the first step dose. I know there's a whole lengthy name for this with just basically numbers and letters that I'm not going to get into, but apparently 5 of 6 or 83% of subjects achieved the PSA 50 declines, and 10 of 18 of subjects achieved PSA 50 declines with their first dose that had a smaller amount, less than 0.1 milligram compared to the 0.2 milligram. So this is all based around cancer. And T cell engagement. So this is good news for them. And the thing about this is that they do also have a little bit larger than normal float. But when it comes to the GLP-1 drugs and oncology or cancer, those really move much more than some of those other less or more obscure names. So this is, I don't know where this is headed. I don't have levels for this one, but that's the news on what's going on with Japan.
And that was a perfect segue, 13. I really appreciate that, to Viking Therapeutics. This is, of course, ticker VKTX. This thing just an absolute monster, up 85, almost 86% here. Viking Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced the phase 2 venture trial successfully achieved its primary endpoint and all secondary endpoints. I don't know how many of you folks remember, but if I recall correctly, the first time we kind of started trading this as a group, the stock was about 15, 16 bucks. In fact, one of the trades I took on it was a multi-month, I think $16 call options on this thing. They ended up expiring worthless, and now look at this stock. So a couple of lessons to learn here. First of all, biotech, which has been volatile all year this morning, likely to have some more of that. We've talked a lot about some of this weight loss stuff, the GLP stuff. There is, with no question, that we are still in the early innings of this, maybe even the first half inning in terms of what these drugs can actually do. This one here, I believe, getting approved just for weight loss, right? I can't pull up the PR and see what.
It's phase 2 results that this is moving off of Viking Therapeutics.
Yeah, but isn't that, aren't they looking at this? Isn't the focus on weight loss as opposed to something else? So this is what I mean. Like, they're actually taking some of these drugs into the next phase where there is a huge cohort of people, not just Americans, but people around the world that are going to benefit from some of these types of drugs. I know that we're seeing talk of maybe statins not being needed as much because some of these are going to help some of the problems that statins are designed to help. So a lot of reshuffling is going to be going on. I'll be honest, though, stock like this, I mean, you gunslingers out there, you might want to be trading this one. To me, the move here has already happened. I'm really, really disappointed that the options ended up not paying anything, because the thesis was right, but my time horizon was incorrect. And that's just how it goes, I'm afraid. So that's what's going on here with VKTX. Probably won't trade it just because of the way it's moved, but you have a pretty gigantic range carved out here. Okay, IFBD. We actually they delayed their. Let's be very clear about what's going on here. They delayed their offering, right? So.
No, they're reverse split.
They're reverse split. Excuse me. They delayed. I'll tell you what, this going off of no news is very difficult. They delayed their reverse split. This stock is not down from 20. I understand it's being displayed incorrectly. I actually checked a couple of brokerages. My TD Ameritrade has it correct. There are some other data feeds that don't have this correct. So let me try and set the story for you here. This stock closed yesterday at just about 271. It's currently 579 here in the pre-market. It hit a high of 890. So this stock is absolutely up. In fact, if you take a look at Benzinga Pro here, you'll notice that this number is in fact correct. It's just the chart is factoring in a split that was delayed and never happened. So I'll be honest, 13, I don't know how great this catalyst is for a trading catalyst. I'm glad I know what's going on here. Maybe this kind of moves around in the technical area that we kind of expect it to move around in. But I don't think this catalyst is great, right? They delayed a reverse split, so the stock's up 100%. Make it make sense.
Let me just circle back around and say that I'm probably just going to be sticking to trading these Bitcoin and AI names, since those I can actually make some sense out of. But some of these biotechs, like the ones that you were mentioning, and like Viking Therapeutics, I think that move's already in. I don't want to trade something that's already in. That's, what is it, like $70, $60, $70 a share? I'm not interested in that. Yeah. So I'll stick with some of these other names that we know that have the capability of moving. We traded them yesterday. They're probably on deck again today.
Okay. You know what? That's a real smart. I'm just going to segue into the next stock that literally fits that bill. It's going to be SOUN. This is one that we've been trading the past couple of days. Stocks really made a move. Guess what? We're trading up here again today. Looks like we printed a high of 769. Nice. Come back in just above that $7 level. I've got the VWAP here at 699. We're holding right above it. We've made higher lows here in the pre-market. That's great to see. SOUN definitely on deck for a potential trader here today. This thing has plenty of liquidity. It gives plenty of movement. Should be able to use this as a vehicle to make some money here. AJ, good morning. It's great to see you, my man. I hope you're doing well. So sound, that's definitely going to be on the list here. Next is going to be Hyms. This is him and hers health. 13. I know you've talked about this one. You consider this one of the missed ones, right? That you were looking at. You've been on top of this from the beginning. Him and hers health, the shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and issued strong guidance. So that's really awesome. You actually got the guide in there on top of the earnings report itself. This in the pre-market here looks like it really wants to pop off 1250 and maybe make a run. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see how juicy that actually is. Let's see if we do break that out and go here. Hyms looks like maybe a move above 1250 here.
Yeah, I'm just setting some levels in sound because I only had them going up to about 875. Not expecting it to get up there. And now that we're knocking on the door of it, I decided, well, maybe I better set some additional levels based on what we've, the price action we've had previously in May of 2022, that where it went up to $18. So
20 seconds until we open, 15 seconds here now. I'm just going to quickly mention a few of these real quick. SRFM, this is Surf Aero Mobility. It popped and really kind of retraced a lot of that move. CLSK, this is participating in the Bitcoin move that 13 talked about. We're going to be looking at those. Norwegian, this is up. CCL, I noticed, is up today. BBAI, we already covered. Mara on there, moving with Bitcoin. Okay, let's move over to the scanner. And then, of course, I will go ahead and move over to trade the pool here in a sec. Oh, I got to fix this again.
We're open. And one quick thing about SRFM that I think is kind of hilarious. This is up because there's a 13G filing that shows that Palantir actually owns a 7.1% stake in the company. So we're doing that again.
Okay.
Where another company owns part of a company, all of a sudden it's just time to bid it up.
And that makes it go up. Absolutely wild. Okay. Also, folks, as a reminder, don't forget the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. It's the best prop firm out there. Easy way to get above that 25K threshold. If that's something that you're struggling with, you can also get up to 260K in buying power. Be sure to check them out. We love that they join us. They actually give us trading ideas too. Let me know if you have a prop firm that actually helps give you trading ideas. Never seen that before. Anyway, we're going to be moving over to their trade execution system here shortly. I do want to kind of review some of the scanners here and see how things shake out here. Okay, one of the other stocks that I wanted to mention here real quick, because we've talked about it quite a bit before, one of my longer term holds, Portillos. They reported earnings here. The report actually read pretty good. I was able to go through that here this morning. Read pretty good, beat on the top and bottom line. They're going to open 9 more stores in their expansion plan. Things look okay there. Now, the stock has really been pounded. This has been a very, very tough stock to own over time as it continues to sell off. Getting a little bit of a pop here. We'll see if we can move north of 16, maybe some profit taking here. Still long on Portillos, but this is not working the way that I hoped. I would have liked to have seen more in terms of the stock performance than I already have, but still in. I'll let you know if my position updates at all. I want to take a look at some of the other stocks that are moving here. Let's see. Oh, looks like there we go. Okay, so IFBD above 6 here. Remember, the price is correct. It's the previous price data that needs an adjustment because of the split. IFBD is higher here. Look, Janex is still higher. PYXS looks like this is trying to break its recent high.
Why does Lynn and Randy call it Portillos?
Because the performance has been straight up poor. That's why they have really. I'll tell you what. I'm very soured on the management team. I'm running out of patience here. They just really have not done a great job. And you can go poor owning the stock. It has not performed. Just straight up has not performed. So Lynn and Randy, they're masters with words. They came up with that. Okay,
Yes, they are. Because I have a nickname because of that.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, look, Jolo's pretty good. By the way, so here's SOUN. This is probably one of the bigger watches here for today. One thing that I'll notice here, we really don't have that buying volume right out of the gate, right? We'll see if that turns around. Maybe some of those buyers are waiting. We're leaking a little bit here, staying right above that VWAP, but I still see a lot of selling pressure here on Sound. We'll wait and see if that actually changes here. But something to kind of keep in mind here.
Some of these just may need some time to set up.
And that's okay. And we're going to be patient here. OCEA has made a great trade yesterday. You folks were absolutely on top of this yesterday. Maybe we get another one here today, pushing up out of the open. Don't see anything great as of yet. IFBD rejected at its VWAP and making a move lower here. Smoke Tuna saying, why do you call Lynn and Randy? Well, because Lynn and Randy are a package deal. So her name in the YouTube handle is Lynn, but I've met them in real life 20 plus times. I always meet the two of them, so I always address them as Lynn and Randy. I'm never really sure who's sitting behind the avatar. Some days I can determine based on the humor that's being thrown out, but I just cover all my bases and list both their names. So AULT getting mentioned. Jay, I know this is one of your favorite stocks here. Of course, I'm kidding. This thing's a piece of junk. This 60 cents here looks like we did kind of trade up towards 90. We've really kind of just sold off here beneath the VWAP. This thing really needs to regain the VWAP. I'm going to completely pass on this. I'm not gonna trade alt.
Yeah, just I think Soundhound may give a trade here if we can get a bounce off of the 65 EMA on the 5 minute. That's at about 672, 673. So we'll see what happens there. Kind of watching the INOD and IDAI kind of do their thing this morning. They're doing pretty well. Same thing with Zim. These are all trades that I've decided to swing. I started getting into INOD yesterday. And Ryan, I think just that whole conversation we've been having about INOD and happy hour is gave me confidence to get back in it, because I sold out of this when it was going from 9 to 10.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think that there was a lot of shenanigans and orchestrated stuff around the short report. I'll leave it at that. Company reported earnings and put up a good number. A lot of things here that we can actually take a look at. The CEO does seem a little sleepy, doesn't seem like he wants to talk a lot. INOD really doesn't have a whole lot of coverage, which is going to make it hard for this to kind of pop and move some mornings here. But I like this. I've made money on this. There's 2 times where I've swung this pretty seriously. I've made money both times. First was from 3 to 9. The second one was from 6 to 9. And I could have actually had more if I was a little bit more on top of it. I like this though, frankly, and I think that unless something changes here, adds around 7 or maybe just under 7, I think eventually you'll end up making money on those.
We have some folks mentioning Zoom, and I remember we were talking about that yesterday because they just had earnings. And the interesting thing that I found about Zoom wasn't so much their buyback; it was their EPS guide. Their EPS they guided for Q1 2025 was much higher, and their sales by comparison was just slightly lower. So to me, that seems like their margins are improving. And I haven't gone through the report, so I don't know if that's what the case is, but that's just what it seems like they have going on. They have improving margins. Their sales aren't going to really change, but their amount that they're going to be making is improving. So.
Okay. Seems that I'm having trouble pulling up the Zoom chart here in Trade the Pool. So it looks like I've got some feed issues going on. My internet seems fine. I don't know what's going on. I'm having all types of technology problems here this morning. By the way, market pulling out of that open. So I know we talked about this maybe continuing to roll over here. Here, let me go back. This is crazy. This is crazy. Here we go. Market is pulling here across the board. Qs, Dow, SPY, all at lows here. Bitcoin, noticeably, however, holding up here 13. I think you're onto something there with the Bitcoin.
Yeah, the rest of the market just was looking. I mean, even I was feeling it. It was feeling like it was just too much at the top, and there was nobody that was wanting to buy up here. I don't even feel comfortable buying up here, so I welcome the sell off.
Lift, big push. Lift, big push out of the gate here. We'll see if it stops at 17. It stopped there before at 17.
Yeah, Lynn and Randy were mentioning that they're waiting for Walmart to get lower, and I think that it is coming lower, and I do want to end up owning that, but just not at the price that it's at right now.
That be patient, man. Be patient. Jay saying, Ryan, CCJ, too many ETFs like Bitcoin were issued. Probably got a little too much love straight down since earnings. They were at BMO conference yesterday, says uranium prices to stay firm for years. So first of all, the outlook on uranium makes complete sense. I no matter what the talking heads are going to talk about when it comes to energy and the future of energy and global warming and all of that stuff, I absolutely think that nuclear is going to fit into that. I would imagine uranium prices stay firm for years. So I like this. It sounds to me like we're building a case here for maybe add on weakness here on CCJ. The other thing that I've noticed, at least right now, this is actually a pretty nice bounce off that 40 level. 40 looks like some pretty decent support here on CCJ. Maybe if you're going to trade this now, I would trade this against 40. And if it comes back in, maybe pay attention to some of these other levels. 35 I have in here, maybe 30 as well. If it comes back in, not saying that it will, but maybe for some potential ads on a longer term trade here. I do like CCJ. I will say I don't have enough exposure to this. You've been on top of this for a long time. I've been in and out of some of these names. It looks like it would have been better to actually just hodl. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Okay, let me roll through a couple of these. Looks like you guys are mentioning stocks that are moving here. ZVSA, this was a mover from yesterday. Let's see if this can actually pop. Probably
It was moving this morning
hold off
too,
on that one. Yeah, it was.
That OCEA move out of the gate was great. I hope nobody got trapped up there when it pulled, but that was a really good call for those of you that were trading it.
OCEA, huh?
Yeah, it had a nice move out of the gate.
Yeah, sure did. Sure did.
One thing that was brought up yesterday, because I mentioned it, what I intend to do with it. Archer Aviation, they had earnings yesterday.
Yeah.
And of course, this company isn't making money yet, so I expect them to be lower. And sure enough, they did. They went down to 447 in the after hours after they reported, and they're back and trading back up. This is more of a longer term thing, and this company probably won't even have their products in the air, making money until next year at the earliest. But they are building some prototypes to test. They're going to be doing, I think they said, about 400 different flight tests this year. So they're making progress, but this is going to take some time, and this is just something I'm going to hold for a little while.
Yeah, I actually added a little bit to this. I added 50 shares to it, so we're not really talking about anything of note. Moved back down. We'll see if this holds this level here. I'm with this. I'm with you on this one for a long term. I'm not expecting anything in the near term here,
right,
on Archer.
But they will eat cash in the near term.
Yeah, but that should give me an opportunity to add lower. And as long as I keep my size really, really small and manageable, I should be able to build a position here that has a pretty good basis. At least that's the plan right now. We'll see if that ends up working out. PYXS being mentioned by a number of you in the chat here. This thing took off, right? So we had our little move up there. Looks like we had a bit of a stop here, 625, came back in, took that spot off. We're moving on volume here. PYXS, let's see if we can find a next spot on this one.
So they just had a private placement of over almost 9 million shares at $4.78 a share. And this is oncology. What did we just talk about before the bell?
Cancer.
GLP-1s and cancer drugs.
Yep.
Those are the ones that really, really move. And this one is really moving. And the float is, over 36 million shares. So it's not like this is one of those smaller, low float companies that's easy to push around. This is, this has got probably some real products apparently.
And we have a decision point coming up. Yeah. Look at this chart, right? This thing has made a high at 7. We are approaching that double top. What is going to happen when we get up here? Do we continue to find resistance here and pull all the way back? Look how humongous this pullback was last time. Or do we break and keep moving here? So a decision point coming up on PYXS. This thing likely to be volatile into that. Something to watch here.
Rick Potter, we're asking me, where do you have Zim for highs? So, I mean, I'd like to see this get back up to over 15. There's a gap that can start to fill. Now I'm going to completely answer your question here in just a second. There's a gap that's going to start to fill in about just over 16, and it's going to fill that up to, I actually have the numbers here on a different chart, but I'm looking for that gap to fill. I think there's more upside, especially when they have their earnings next month. But for the short term, you could probably start shaving your position if you want to take profit. I mean, maybe in the 1275 area or closer to 13. It seems that every time that we get close to 2 or up to 13, there's a lot of selling that happens that just drives us right back down underneath 12. So if you're looking for a short-term trade, maybe start considering taking profit between here and 1275. And if you want to let the rest ride, then it's up to you. But I think 13 is a pretty good level to maybe consider getting out of if you're not going to trade this for the long run.
And that 16 gap, by the way, fills at 1736. So that is going to be one of those spots if you do end up entering that gap here. Still swinging a very small position in the prop account in Zim. It's really kind of flirted with unchanged mostly. I'm okay holding it. By the way, PYXS knifing here through the VWAP went right to 6. Something to keep in mind here. I'm not in any of these names just yet. I'm kind of waiting this out. Frankly, I'd like to have a little bit easier trade like we did with PANW there. Jay Rice mentioning good call on IWM, holding firm versus the other indexes. And I'm not sure who made that call, but this is actually something that I want to see. So I'm extremely happy to see that this is actually materializing. I want to see, remember, we talked about at the beginning of this, I want to see some of the rotation out of that very densely packed Magnificent Seven into some of these other names. My portfolio, mostly smaller caps, so I'd love to see them rotate into the IWM. We take a look at the daily chart here real quick. Boy, I'm flipping all over the place in these screens. Sure looks like we're looking for a potential breakout here, 204, 205 area on IWM. I'd love to see that and a move to 220. Unsure if that's what we're going to get, but that's something that I'm actually looking for here.
Man, Soundhound was great. So that area I was talking about picking up, which was a 65 EMA, we traded slightly beneath that, and then we just bounced back up, and now we're back up to this level that I have at 730, or getting close to it. So this was a good out of the gate, picking it up off the bounce and letting it go. I've already started shaving my position. I'm almost out.
Okay, nice job. Nice job on that one. Sorry about my data feeds here. I don't know what is going on.
We're both having some data feed issues, and I don't think it's just one entity. I mean, I'm seeing some weird things in both, my broker and the chart and Benzinga. So there's something somewhere is happening. That's weird. Something somewhere.
Another potential trade idea here. I know we talked about a PANW setup that was pretty awesome. Actually, this comes from another person in our happy hour show yesterday. This is Fastly, right? This looks to be setting up here for a potential swing long if you want something that's a little bit easier to manage than some of these day trades. Maybe start taking a look at Fastly. We're riding this 500-day moving average. I, of course, affectionately call it the Joe moving average because you were the one that brought this one to my attention. But it looks like we've kind of bottomed out here. 1430. I mean, I would probably trade this against the $14 low in terms of an actual stop. If we take a look at the inside here, we got some choppy action here in Fastly. So maybe it's time for this stock here to bounce. I have no position in this yet, but this is definitely something that I'm looking to trade pretty soon here. I'd love to see this make a move back towards 20 Fastly. So I haven't built a position yet, but I'm definitely looking into that. See if I can go back to trade the pool here.
Sound got up to that 730 level. Yes, it got eaten up a little bit, but then we blasted to 740, and now we're retreating. So I think we're going to get us. I'm looking to see for the next setup in this one. But that was a nice move up to the 730 level I had there. Rick, I hope you got some of that too. If you're playing this, you should be doing really well.
Yeah, great call here. This is actually looking really strong too, right? This selling volume changing to buying volume now. Would love to see that move. Maybe even take the top off here, top of the pre-market range. That'd be absolutely excellent. Nice job on Sound. I had no position on this one. You're doing a great job with this. By the way, just opened up a starter position here in Fastly, so I did take a couple of shares down here at this level. That is in the main account, not in the prop account, so you're not going to see it here in the prop account, but started the position building in Fastly. INOD, by the way, back to your 720 area, that looking strong here.
Yeah, it is. I think yesterday was the day to buy. We'll have to wait and see if that turns out to be true. We might get, I mean, there might be some resistance around 740, but if we can break through that and get up to 8, should have a lot, well, maybe not a lot, but a little bit of an easier time going higher.
Okay, you guys are mentioning a couple of other things here. Let me roll through them. Okay. I'm going to do it real quick. 13, if you need to interrupt me and get me to focus on something, please do so. I'm just going to roll through a couple other tickets here. Hyms, this is one that we talk about, or this is one that we talked about, did a great job holding the up move in the after hours yesterday, dipped to the VWAP, buyer stepped in. We're going higher here on Hyms. We talked about potential spots for this, I think, yesterday. Let me see if I can refresh my memory on exactly what that was here.
Oh, smoke tuna, you're an animal with CXAI.
Real quick, that 1240 area broken out, blue skies here on Hyms. Okay, CXAI. Is that a penny? I feel like that's a penny name. Am I mixing this up? No?
Nope, you're not.
190 here. Yep. And this is right at that pre-market high area. So again, we'll see what happens right in here. I've got that at 195 CXAI.
Yep, this is not one I'm trading, but to see all you guys do so well in this makes me smile.
Yep, indeed. That's what we want. Raise the tide for everybody. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
I think that was the play. AI and Bitcoin names. They seem to be the ones doing the best.
Okay, so there's also a GXAI. So we've got CXAI, which is $1.90, GXAI, which is a penny stock here, right at its VWAP at 70 cents.
It's got AI in the name. It'll do fine.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, it's got AI in the name. It's probably got to move there. Hello, good to see you this morning. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of your day yesterday. It looks like you're trading GRTX. That's a penny stock. I'm probably going to pass on that one.
He's also got AXGI.
Hey, look at Chuck. Didn't it? Look at Chuck getting an early 10% on an NVIDIA down move using puts, using options to capture that NVIDIA move. 10%. Nice job, Chuck. If that's going to be it for you today, man, you're clocking out early here. Absolutely love that. Alt, look at this penny stock. Jay, I know this has got to make you smile. You've been calling this thing a piece of junk for a long time. Down it goes. Down goes Alt. What do you got there, 13?
Oh, no, I was just I
thought I interrupted you.
No, I'm just having a great time. Everybody's just, playing the AI.
No, I'm just having a great time.
I'm just having a good time.
You got some scotch in that coffee over there? That makes
sense.
Oh, God,
maybe I should put some in here.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Let's take a look at Lyft here. Actually, Lyft doing a decent job flagging here above the VWAP. See if it actually takes out that high here. Remember, Lyft had some recent highs on the daily chart up around 19. So maybe a break of this sends us there on Lyft.
Lift my account.
That would be awesome. I had 2 good days in a row here. I'm starting to wonder what's going on.
Oh, well, there's the comment of the day in the happy hour chat. Seems like market tired in tech. Yeah, that's what we've been looking for.
That's about time.
Yeah, I'll take it. Let tech come back down so I can get back in. Not that I'm more.
Yeah, and that. Let me be very clear. I still like a lot of tech companies. And a lot of tech names. It's just
their valuations.
Like, we need a break here. We need stuff to make sense again.
Give me some entries. Man, CXAI is just relentlessly pushing through, and we just obliterated the pre-market high.
JMII here. This is another Jay Rice mention here. This 480 to 524 here. Nice move. Actually, great move out of this daily formation here on JMIA. I've traded this one a lot in the past. Haven't traded it recently, but great move here. Great move here. You guys are telling me that PANW is pushing again here. Let's see. Not really. It's really kind
He
of
doesn't
holding
care.
up here at this 318. No, I don't. I mean, I'm really, really happy with the booked gains there. And you know what? The thing is, I'm going to keep watching this one too, because if I get another opportunity that's just as crispy and clean as the last one, I'm going to have to take it here. Stop making sense. Okay, so real quickly, we're just take a quick second here to notice this. Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads. So Stop Making Sense is one of the greatest musical performances I have ever seen. If you have not seen this, even if you don't know who the Talking Heads are, definitely check this out. It is amazing. Talking Heads are phenomenal. David Byrne is a genius, and Stop Making Sense is the top of that. Okay. Looking around here real quick. PANW does look like this is moving higher here. CXAI 175 to 208. Nice trade there. Nice trade. Hyms is running. You think we got some more room here in Hyms?
I think a lot of the ignored names are going to get more attention. I was just going to mention Zim seems to be having a nice either a bull pennant or a bull flag setting up, maybe a bull pennant. And it looks like it's going to try to go higher than the 1265 that put in.
I'll tell you what, looking at the daily chart here, 13, looking at this daily chart, first of all, what is the position? Looking at this daily chart, this thing looks like it really wants to test 15 and then move through 16. Like it looks like it wants to curl and make that push there. So we'll see if it does that here. I'm still long Zim here.
Same. Fastly, I'm going to try it with you. Yeah,
this is a swing. This is not a day trade. So let me be very, very clear. We started a little bit small. I didn't go in, full 1,000 or 1,500 shares or whatever it is. So just adding a little bit of a drip buy here on Fastly. I want this bottom to confirm, right? I want this to really kind of start to curl and make a move back towards 20. Once we do that, we can really kind of step on the gas.
Getting a post here. The material names are doing really well, which they should because they have not been doing well. ALB, which was a Zoltan special.
Yep.
Susano, which is SUZ. Vale, which is I've traded that one before. It was
this ALB, by the way. I think there's some more room here. This really kind of turns around. This thing could be a $200 stock pretty quickly.
Vale is
no position for me. Yeah.
Brazilian steel company, and they also do nickel mining as well. So.
What was the ticker? Sorry, the second one.
VALE. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Vale.
Yeah.
Vale. Even though with Vale there should be a T at the end of that.
Yeah. Our American brains can't even comprehend some of these other languages.
Nope. SQM is another one, and
real quickly here. I know you're rolling through some of those. AXTI for a potential day trade if we pop the top end of this range. Just noticing this getting mentioned and trading up here. AXTI potential entry here. What was the other ticker there? 13. I'm sorry, my man.
No worries. It's MP and then RIO. Those are the ones that were being mentioned.
MP, this is, of course, MP Materials. That one's nice. And RIO is Rio Tinto. We actually just had Rio Tinto earnings, I believe, last week. So earnings out of the way here on Rio.
AXTI, if it can hold the level that we're at here, probably going up to 484 in the next maybe 5 to 15 minutes.
So so those are some specific targets there. That sounds pretty good.
Well, it's so 484 is a level I have previously marked, and I'm seeing we're getting an EMA about to cross the VWAP to the upside. That tends to be give fuel to the move. So we should see that happen in probably the next 5 to 15 minutes if it does happen, and if not, then there'll be another trade to set up. But that's kind of what I'm looking for right now is that move from about here to 484 on that EMA crossing.
Sound here looks like this trying to test the top end of the pre-market range. I have that number at 771. Also have a great comment here from Jay. These are these relationship things that I absolutely love. When you can start to pick these out, you can really start to expand your trading here. Jay saying ticker ALB. Notice it tends to move with Tesla.
Of course.
Yeah, so of course doing some of the I guess rare earth minerals used in the production of Tesla vehicles, and particularly the battery. But if you take a look at ALB here, you can see these charts actually look pretty similar, especially over certain periods of time. Like it looks like ALB and Tesla are both starting to kind of curl up off the bottom. So this is a really good mention. If you're going to look at either one of these tickers, keep the other one in mind. There might be a trade there for you. I'm getting reports here. JanX halted to the upside. Thank you, Crow.
Yeah, ALB, that's a big lithium producer. So they're going to definitely run with the with Tesla and maybe even other EVs.
Produce. Thank you.
Yeah. There's also I'm seeing a bunch of insider mentions here. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at this. So it looks like a bunch of people just bought, a bunch of insiders just got options in this company yesterday.
Were they grants? Is that what that?
No,
is that what
no.
it's?
I mean, I don't know if they might be, but it just says options as the trade type, not grant. So maybe they are grants. I don't know.
No, I think it would say that. That's why I asked you that. I think it would literally tell you if that was the case. Looking around here at some other stuff.
Things are getting almost to where I was expecting them to be.
Monica mentioning Palantir, PLTR. This is one I wish that I had really kind of added down in the single digits. This was definitely a miss. Palantir having a great day here. We did pop as high as 24.50, it looks like. Back beneath 24 here, but man, it trades thick. So give it some time, but this has really kind of worked out. All right, let's see, VKTX.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jay. He was saying that they had ALB had a horrible quarter, so there was a lot of insider buying or options buying as a result of that. So that makes sense. That's why Zoltan was buying it too.
Sound new high of day, so we did end up popping that top there. Yep, sure did.
Zim is about to make a new high of day, so that was. That bull pennant is working out. We're right there at the doorstep. Just needs to get another penny, and then it can go higher.
Voodoo scalping Tesla to the short side here for an entire point. That's an awesome day trade in there. Looking at the chart here, it looks like maybe a break of VWAP. Maybe you had a different trade plan. Maybe the rejection of this upper shadow area really couldn't push through here. Anyway, would like to know what the thought here was on Tesla. This is still one I'm trying to add to my toolbox here. Great scalp, though, this morning. Great job.
AXTI just put in a new high of day, but it then immediately pulled back. So still waiting for that EMA to cross VWAP and try to push to 484.
Little bit of size there, by the way, 475 and AXTI. PANW being mentioned as having another high of day here. Good Lord, PANW 327 up another. This is up another 20 points from where I took gains yesterday. No, I'm not upset that I missed it here. This was an absolute monster winner, but boy, I hope someone else took this with me. I hope someone else took this with me.
Sorry for the language, but I'm just saying, man, if your trade was perfect, you did exactly everything you wanted to out of that. There's no reason for you to be upset with whatever it does from this point on.
No, and you know what? If we get any other type of like down move here, I'm going to use profits to attack this again here. Hopefully someone else took PANW. Good stuff here. So Voodoo, that looks like you were just scalping for a quick point on that momentum down. Okay, so you didn't actually hit the reversal at the top. Instead, rode the momentum wave down. Like to see that. Actually, like, by the way, looking at the Fastly time and sales here, seeing some bigger orders start to flow in here as Fastly continues to trade to the upside. Hopefully, we've got that bottom put in here. Good stuff here this morning. I don't even feel like I've been overactive. I don't feel like I'm chasing some of the active names. Still having a really good day. Still opening up new positions here. So good start to the morning here so far. Yes. JanX is open. Portillos back to the highs here. Let's go. JanX is open. That dipped beneath 40 again.
Lynn and Randy saying Lunar What are they coming back? Oh, okay. They just bounced. They just had a little bounce off of their 200-day SMA, it seems.
You know, I know we talked a lot about the lander tipping over, the whole lander on the moon thing, the whole thing. I still think there's going to be ample trading in lunar going forward. This is one of those names. I don't really think it's going to disappear. There's likely going to be something else down the road that they're going to, talk about, or PR or something like that. So I don't think this is over yet, even with this thing being on the moon in whatever condition it's in.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that I would want to start looking. If I'm going to trade that, I'd pay more attention to it than I have before. So I'd be looking at things like, okay, well, when's their next launch? What is the purpose of their next mission going to be? What kind of how are they getting revenue or making money off of these launches? Like, what does their business entail? What are they trying to do here with their business? So I'd be looking into more of those things, but I just mostly follow SpaceX because I really want to see the Starship make orbit. It's just, absolutely fascinating to me. We're trying to put up the entire internal volume of the International Space Station in one launch. That's what the Starship basically is doing.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah, you got to consider that thing took over 10 years, over I think 30 different countries, billions and billions of dollars, and we're trying to get that volume up there in one shot. I think that's incredible.
IFBD, look at this thing, really kind of gave it back. Used that VWAP as resistance, pounded against it, could not get above it here. Moving lower, IFBD. CXAI being mentioned in the chat here with no context. That is popping to the highs here. Be sure, you guys, if you guys are trading CXAI, I understand wanting to wait for a huge move, which we very well might get, but I would encourage you folks to pay yourself on the way up, just to kind of protect yourself in case we get a knife.
Yeah, InfoBird. Maybe this has a better day when they actually do the reverse split. So March 4th, keep this one on your radar.
Yeah, kudos to you, 13, for highlighting this in the pre-market, though. Not a catalyst where you should really be going out. Like, they delayed the reverse split. What's the big deal? Why are we up so much? This telling you we're coming back to earth here a little bit.
Yeah, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. Still waiting for that move in AXTI, even though we are still putting in new daily highs. Or not daily highs, but intraday high. 484 is still the target. What else? Zim got up to 1270, so that's still doing pretty good. I think I might shave a bit when it hits 13, if it can actually get up there this time. I think last time it was visiting that area, we got up to like 1299 or 1298, and then we just reversed. So.
Coming back down to earth, some lunar puns. James, you know how we do here. We try to be punny anytime that we can. If we can generate a smile from you folks, as well as some money, man, we've done a good job on that day.
Yeah, jokes and cashing out. Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, it's hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Maybe some scotch or a cold beer, depending on what you like.
Yeah, I think I'll do the cold beer. It's a little early for scotch, I think.
AXTI, not ATXI. No, I don't think I have that here in Trade the Pool. Let me take a look.
Widowmaker getting a bounce. Obviously, he's talking about Boyle, right?
It's got to be, right? Or is that the other one?
It is Boyle.
Is it Boyle or Bile?
Bile.
Well, where are you seeing this? Is this
Jay Rice, Widowmaker getting a bounce? Seasonal tends to do well in March, April. He's talking about Boyle.
Yeah, Boyle. Okay, so it's not the penny stock; it's actually Boyle. I of course, don't have that in Trade the Pool. That's the 3x levered one. We can use UNG to see the exact same thing here. UNG having a nice move up here today.
UNG, that's the sound I make when I get hit really hard.
I can't believe that's the first time we've ever said that. That makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna.
Look, we're both,
That's gonna be the. Oh my god, that's gonna be the joke of the whole day. Thank God there's nobody else at my place, because like I'm gonna be making all these weird sounds. If I had somebody here, they'd be like, "What the heck is wrong with you?"
I'm just waiting for somebody's head to kind of peer into the camera, like, what is happening here?
There's no head to pee. I guess you might get Buddy, and he already thinks I'm crazy. So nothing different there.
Interesting thing about sound, we got up to 791 and pulled back, but we're still getting support from that 730 level. It was the same kind of a similar area it bounced off of with VWAP. So we're in that support area there. I'd like to see sound go higher as a result of this this price action. The next level would be 875. Don't know if it'll get there, but that's where I'd like to see it go if we can hold this level.
Jan X moving up, man. This Jan X, this thing's a ripper. This thing came back into what kind of price we had? We had a $26 price in the pre-market here today. This thing printing 42s now. 42s, just unbelievable. Running through a couple of more stocks that I see on my scanner here on the other window here. Beam Therapeutics, the stock having a lot of volume here today, up nicely. Big push here on Beam. Stock was $35 yesterday, 44 here today. I think that might be on the back of that acquisition this morning. PUBM. This stock really moving. This is Pubmatic. Looks like we had earnings on this yesterday, if I recall correctly. Let me get that for you. Yeah, Pubmatic shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and issued strong guidance. A little bit of a profit take here out of the open and a move higher now. PUBM.
What?
Guys are mentioning that the OCEA dip was bought. Let me take a look at that.
Yep, that one came down to the 65 EMA, and it's been
and that was
there,
bought up again. Good call.
Maybe it goes back to VWAP. Maybe I'll have to see if that's what it can do. But VWAP I have at 1209 or 209. I mean,
CXAI flagging up here.
The thing's doing pretty well today.
Yeah, there's a number of things doing well here. By the way, Apple bouncing here. I want to take a look at ACHR. That's holding in. It's not really breaking down anymore. Apple here, this is notable because Apple's kind of been weak recently. This kind of bouncing back to even. We'll see if this can actually push higher on Apple. What did you have over there?
IDAI is putting in some moves.
Oh, is it really? Let's go. Okay, IDAI looking pretty good here. I'm still long this. I'm actually underwater. I didn't get a good buy at all. You know what's interesting here about IDAI are these sticks, these volume sticks right here. We're seeing some big volume. The last time this thing really spiked, it happened on a big block buy, it looked like. Wonder if we're going to get the same type of action here, IDAI. Last time this went to 250.
Mm-hmm. So that day when I saw that it went to 250, because I was in this, I was already in this when I saw that happen, and I didn't, take advantage of that. I was like, okay, well, let's just set an order to sell half of what I have at $2, and I got that. That happened like about half an hour later. So then when it came back down, I just bought back into where my cost basis was, and now I'm back in it. I'm just waiting for the next move up. So if we get to $2 again, I'll just sell half of it again.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I got a little bit of size here at 150. This is actually where the most volume has traded here today. You can see the size on the offer here, but you can also see that this is 41,000 shares have traded at this 150 area. So this seems to be the spot for me. This candle closes in 30 seconds here. We'll see if this 150 breaks. If this does, maybe this shoots back up here, 13.
Yeah, so I'm watching that one too. That one's looking pretty good. So I'm seeing that Kalu is praising GRTX. Did you get a fill or a close, or what happened there?
I didn't do anything with GRTX here. This is a 20-cent stock that is range bound by 2 cents. I'm not sure what the deal is. GRTX.
Okay. Well, hey, it sounds like something worked out for you. So congratulations.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's see on IDAI. Would love for this to go here. Would love for this to go. Lynn mentioning Eli Lilly, of course, ticker LLY, rotation out of tech. This thing has had its own rotation with the whole GLP weight loss issue here. So I'm not sure I'm willing to pin a tech rotation on this. The one that I would really like to see, I know we've talked about this a lot, IWM, that's doing a good job holding up here. But not sure. And you know what, Lynn, this is actually a good question for happy hour. We could have kind of a longer form discussion on what it means and what to look for to see if that trade plan is materialized.
I'd love a rotation out of tech, but
Same.
I'm looking at the QQQ
Same.
and it's slightly up. So I'm not sure that, we could be starting to, but it just hasn't kind of, completely taken hold yet. I'd love to see a rotation out of tech though. Yeah,
that would be absolutely awesome.
Everybody that's playing CXAI is continuing to be happy.
That just continues to make new highs here. So we had the first one when we actually broke off that pre-market range here. We had that, just under 2. Now we're testing 250 here. This might go. YOLO, JOLO, HOLO. Let's take a look at Hollow and see where that's at. Up. Nice little flush there on Hollow. Remember, Jay talked about this. Jay said, stock's $80. It's going to go back to single digits. And it, here we are. Just took what, about a week?
Now, if we continue to sell off in this one, it probably might get interesting around 850. So if you look at the recent price action over the past several trading days, 850 was a big resistance level. And then it broke out and went absolutely wild up to, 1350. And maybe a little bit more. So I think there could be maybe a bit of a bounce if it gets down to 850. Just something to watch for.
Let's see if I can find anything else on IDAI here. Just that volume is likely to have lured some other traders to at least looking at this.
See if there's any news or anything that's kind of making this get the attention it's getting.
Yeah, I don't think there's any news. I'm just wondering if maybe other traders are seeing it. I don't see anything yet on Twitter. I'll keep an eye on that. Let me take a look here. Oh, excuse me. Let me take a look here in Pro.
Okay, so Soundhound breaking down to the 65 EMA, the one where I bought it this morning for that trade up. If it doesn't hold, it's probably headed down to under 6.
Yeah, the only news I had was a patent from yesterday on IDAI, so I think that's not fresh here. Here is Sound breaking down. Crow mentioning Root having steady gains every day. So this looks like this having another grind up here today. This has been good. Wow. Right off that 10 level, frankly. Thing has been just great. More than a double here.
Right off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute this morning when it opened. 2022 is where it found that support, and then it's just not looking back right now.
BBAI going back towards those highs here. BBAI.
Looks like CLSK might be trying to find a bottom here. It's right close to the 200 EMA.
Yeah, this might be. And you know what? Using the smoke tune indicator here, we almost have this MACD histogram cross, and those signal lines are definitely slowing down.
Yeah, all like Bitcoin, Mara, and Riot, they're all kind of looking for a bottom right here around their 200 EMA on the 5-minute. That's interesting. So they might be trying to get it.
Bitcoin chart, lots of volume, lots of chop, but doing a good job staying above 57,500 here. At least this is the futures chart that I'm monitoring from the Chicago Board of Options. So I like the range here. I'd like to see this maybe pop and move.
Well, it looks like it might be trying to reverse here. I mean, the Bitcoin names are starting to curl a bit. Maybe this is it.
So I do see that Bitcoin move. I'm looking at BTC. Here's CLSK, and look, this is following it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, How about sound? Let me bring up sound in a different window here. Yeah, it looks well. Your CLSK seems to be. I guess sound is not really going to move with Bitcoin as much. That's the AI theme.
Yeah, that's AI slash NVIDIA theme. That's the thing.
CLSK.
I'm really attaching sound to AI to
NVIDIA. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, this entry here on CLSK, this was choice. 60-cent move off that peak to trough already, and this thing just started. You were right on that. Done with sound for the day. Nice job, Wisdom. Marlon saying, can you guys look at Hyms? Yeah, we've looked at Hyms a few times here today. Really, really strong. So far, this has been two great moves, right? Little profit taking to the VWAP, nice little push away. That actually gave a trade if you were on top of it here. The second pull to the VWAP, not a whole lot in there, but doing a good job holding higher here on Hyms. I think with the whole GLP stuff, weight loss stuff being so early on, there's some more ramp and runway here for Hyms.
AXTI still hasn't gotten up to that 484. We got that crossing. It just hasn't been able to break through that big wall at 470. So maybe it does. We'll just, it's not pulling back yet. So we'll just see if it can break that wall.
Yeah, Lynn saying, can you guys go over those NVIDIA small movers? So that's what I was just thinking here. Sound is one of them. NNOX is another. BMR is a third. And what am I forgetting? Sound, NNOX, BMR.
With an N, I believe.
I made note of these yesterday. Let me check.
Yeah, they're in the chat somewhere there. Maybe I can find it here. Oh no, wait, you put it in the happy hour chat, so I don't have it here.
Yeah, I was just thinking, where did I put that? I don't see it in my little notepad here. God, what was that other one? RXRX. Thank you, Market Sniper. You got it. RXRX, NNOX, BMR, and SOUN. Those were the four names related to NVIDIA that we talked about yesterday. Market Sniper, great assist there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wisdom saying, quit eating fast food, please, gentlemen. I second this. The less fast food you can eat, the more clean ingredients you can eat. In addition to weight loss, you're actually just going to feel better on a daily basis.
What is up, y'all?
Oh, we got a bomb from AB. AB, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. Ryan, how are you? How was pre-market prep while I was gone?
I'm good. Look, man, that was so much fun. I've been watching pre-market prep for such a long time to finally be able to fill in. I was a little nervous on day one, but we made it work, man. Glad to keep the seat warm for you. Glad you're back.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Heard you did a good job. Glad to hear that. I've been watching y'all talking about some good stocks this morning. I've got one that I've been watching that I'm excited about. Can I tell you all about it real quick?
Sure.
All right, this is an OTC stock, Ron. Can you pull it up for me? The ticker is RWGI, Road Dog International. So this thing got a pop this morning. The company announced some recent news that it is applied for its cannabis distributor license in California. Huge market out there for cannabis, of course. And I mean, this is an 80-cent stock. Ultra low. Oh, 8-cent stock. Sorry. Ultra low float. That's, one of the reasons I've been watching this. We've seen some ultra low float stocks really start running, and especially when you have a company like this that's in a market that has, all this potential in terms of cannabis. And again, especially out in California, I mean, one of the biggest markets for it in the country. It's really exciting to me. A lot of things going on. Definitely worth a look down here. And this is, it's not a software as a service play, but a management as a service play, MAS, as we like to call it in the industry. And I'm expecting, some good things coming out of this company, some great news again this morning on that. I'll drop the link to that news press release about what they're doing again in California. If they get this cannabis license, I mean, this thing could really take off. We've seen companies with low floats like this. I mean, that's one of the whole reasons we saw that huge short squeeze a couple of years ago in GameStop and AMC. So I have a screener going on every morning to check for stocks like this that have that low float. And again, just down here, 8 cents. I don't know, why not take a stab at it?
Yeah, I'll say this. Normally, OTC stuff, not my favorite, but this is how you do it, AB. You find it when it's very, very early, when the story is still very, very early on. Get it, use time to your advantage. Yeah, let us know how this goes. I'm also especially interested in the cannabis, and I'll be honest with you. I like trading those names. I do think there's a future here. I think it's ridiculous how demonized cannabis is, especially when you compare it to alcohol. But that's another story for another day.
100%.
I think that there are going to be a ton of names that are just like this that are going to end up being massive, massive winners. I just can't predict them. So if you have any insight like this or ideas, we would love to, absolutely love to hear about stuff like that.
Well, the company's doing some cool things. Again, I mentioned that, that application for licensed cannabis distribution. And I mean, the company is projecting that, it's going to start meeting revenue of $7 million annually. And if the company hits that from where it's at now, there's no reason the stock price wouldn't, just take off. And again, from 8 cents, this is how you kind of find some of those winners when you find cheap, low float stocks. They get these positive news catalysts. You saw a pop already this morning. And again, I mean, I'm going to play this and look for that next pop. If the company again hits that $7 million revenue that it's projecting, there's no reason this thing wouldn't take off. So I just want, it was something I was watching this morning, wanted to make sure you guys knew about this. Again, RWGI is the ticker there, trading OTC. I'll pop back in a few minutes and update this. I'm going to go ahead and start trading this a little bit more, though.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate you bringing that interest early on. That's my favorite thing. The earlier you can bring things, the better off we're all going to be.
Yeah, and I'll have questions about it too because I'm curious.
All right, I'll come back in a few minutes and I'll give it a nice little price update. I'll let y'all get back to your trade.
Awesome. I'm glad AB's back. Let me just put it down. I am glad AB is back, coming in, dropping in ideas. Right away. By the way, Beam, this is one that we talked about earlier. This thing is going vertical right out of the gate here. Ticker BEAM. They reported earnings this morning. Beam Therapeutics. Not sure what drugs are in this pipeline or anything like that. Nice little beat here. Great day here for Beam. So risk on here for that. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Portillos made the relative volume scanner, which means it's up and it's trading on higher than average volume. Can't remember the last time I said that. Conference call going on here on Portillos, something to keep in mind. Yeah, Jay Rice, sorry, real quick. Jay Rice is mentioning Lyft. This thing has been a ripper all day. A second leg up here. Good call there, Jay. Sorry, 13. I didn't mean to run you over.
Oh, that's all right. I was just wanted to get to some of these questions that I was getting asked. Humble Ninja was asking what was I was watching, and I was just kind of looking into what that company that was being mentioned, Road Dog, was all about. I just trying to get some questions going in my head because I'm curious as to what this company does for revenue if they actually have. I know he was mentioned it was like a management as a service company. So does that mean that they just only provide expertise and personnel? They don't really have any assets like land or farming or manufacturing equipment for distributing the products. I'm just curious. I just have some questions that I'm informing. So that's why I was kind of staring off like this while he was talking.
Yeah, so it sounds like you were doing some due diligence, which is the real
all up in here
thing to do. Let's go. It's exactly what I wanted to hear.
So I was just looking at that. And then there was also another mention about something that I said. ARQT, Smoke Tuna said ARQT above $10. I said it was a good stock at $4. Probably because it seemed like they had some decent stuff in the pipeline. They weren't really profitable, but they have the stuff they're putting out there. It seemed like a good company. So if it's doing well for you, then I'm glad that that's working out. I didn't have a position in this.
This has had a great chart off this bottom. This is awesome. This is actually what you want to see, right? You want to see that move up. You want to see some of these levels back tested a little bit, but no breakdown, then another push behind it. It's exactly what we're getting here in ARQT. So I'm sorry you didn't have this one. This was great.
This can't be in everything.
Great. No, that's true. That's my biggest problem too. Is I wish I was in it. Speaking of wanting to be in everything, how about Abercrombie and Fitch? We talked about this one a number of times. I know Sig Pizza Pretty awesome handle.
I personally feel dumb for not being in some
too.
of these builders.
The builders. Oh God, they're good calls. So Abercrombie is one here, but these builders, these were the only people being able to sell new houses with being able to control the interest rate. Toll Brothers, worth mentioning here. DHI, of course, worth mentioning here. We had another small one that got mentioned yesterday. I can't remember the ticker. But a lot of these builders here really have been really good.
That's the sector that I'm kicking myself because I knew better. I knew better not to stay away from that. I should have done something with that, but it's a little late now, so I can't I can't be mad.
Look at InfoBird. This was at one point at the top of our movers list in terms of its gap.
Yeah,
and
traders flipped the InfoBird and said goodbye.
They flipped you the InfoBird and said goodbye. I mean, 13. It's like you prepare for these jokes. Like that is just awesome. It's just awesome. Jay, if you paid attention to the previous 8 reports, every one of them has been faded. Jay, it looks like that's exactly what we're seeing here in Zoom again. You know what's funny about this mention here, Jay, is that this reminds me a lot of what Dennis talked about yesterday, fading some of these moves in the pre-market, especially if they're earnings movers from that pre-market. I know Zoom reported yesterday, but look, the high was made in the pre-market. A fade off that pre-market high, you're looking at almost 8 points here, peak to trough. So there's another. This is again one of the reasons that this is worth mentioning is because what Jay's doing here is he's not just telling you what's going on right now, but he's giving you something to look for. Some of these things that report earnings, take a look at what they did the last several earnings reports. See if there's any pattern or anything that holds up, and if there is, you might actually be able to trade that. This is good stuff, Jay. I love all of this. Love all of this.
Yeah, and somebody was asking about Zoom earlier, and I just was pointing out about how they had that big EPS guide. And, like I said, I hadn't gone through the report, so I don't know if this is what's happening, but it seems like their margins are really starting to improve to the point where they're doing a buyback now. So I need to look into that some more. But Jay, if you've got more info on what their margins are looking like, if that's the case or not, I'd love to hear it.
Let's take a look at SOUN.
Looks like CXAI is trying to get ready to push for new intraday highs.
Sure does. Looks like a bounce off the VWAP here, CXAI.
Yep. Yeah, and then it's look like it's going to go up to 250 again, where there's a wall. If we can get through that, I mean, I don't know where this
was kind of a fast move here too in CXAI. This really came off that 216 spot. Here we go. Size up here at 250. We talked about this being the spot before. This spot's still in play here. Let's see what happens with this size at 250. CXAI possible play through the 250 level here. I'm not going to buy this, though. I'm not going to play the upside break.
I need a whale to come in and take that out, and it looks like they're doing it right now. I mean, I just saw that.
Yeah, they hit it. They hit it for a lot there. Yep. There it goes. Bang, bang, bang. Through at 3 cents and they yanked it back, right? 4 cents. I beg your pardon. 4 cents and they yanked it back here.
Yeah, but we were talking about this one before it even got up there. So if you took that trade, congratulations. That was a good one. Looks like AXTI could not get up to 484. It pulled back close to VWAP, but I don't think it's done. So we'll have to see if this can try to push up there some more. But didn't get that move that I was looking for.
That's really kind of slowed down here. All right, 13, just give me 1 sec here. I will be right back.
Wisdom, I'm not calling you a whale. I'm just saying a whale needs to come in and actually bid this thing up. Don't ask me to make that sound again. I won't do it. CXAI played at the open, was good. Yeah, Smoke Tuna, you're having a big steak dinner tonight for sure. Looks like Fastly is still trying to move up and make new intraday highs, currently at 1455 as the intraday high. JTAI making the $1 crossover. I haven't looked at one now. Let's take a look. Jet AI. Oh, it's because it's got AI in the name. That's why it's moving, right? So this one is okay. I see what you're saying. It's trying to get back over $1, and Do you have a target for this one in JTAI? I need to do a voiceover cartoon. Oh, let me tell you, Wisdom. If there was one career that I would have loved to have, it would have either have been, doing cartoon voices or, stand-up comedian. That would have been so much fun for me. But it's a very, very difficult business.
Stand-up comedian, man, that makes me nervous. That just makes. I mean, I'm nervous for the comedians, honestly.
Yeah, you want to give me a mic?
Crazy. Yeah, no, man. Okay, real quickly here, IDAI, this bouncing back and forth here. I just noticed that a lot of stock started to trade, but you know what? The big thing here is that we actually stayed under that 150 level. I'm showing a pop through this to 153. Looks like they got yanked, so they took that block out. So it looks like we've got some, unless they refresh it here, it looks like we've got some blue skies above IDAI.
Just trying to take out some of those. What are some of the warrant? Is that what we're looking at here with IDAI? There's some. They're trying to shake somebody out of this.
They have to be. They have to be. And that 150 is just such a clear spot here.
Mm-hmm. I nod. I actually have a sell order to take a little bit off the table at 740 because that's about where we have the 200 EMA bearing down on the price. So I just think that that's a good place to take a little bit off the table, but I'm not going to be out of this. I still think this goes much higher.
Yeah, my rebuy on this was higher. I should have added when it dipped into the sixes, but I was just doing such a small starter. I ended up not. Good spot though. At least you're able to get some gains. I know, Kalu, you're going absolutely buck wild over there. GRTX, this just made it back to its VWAP, dude. This is a 20-cent stock. Yeah, sure, it's up off the bottom. This is not most of our coverage here.
I don't know what he's trading, but if he's got like a good amount of he's got like thousands of shares that he's trading, he's probably doing very well in this.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe from yesterday here, but again, I don't really see anything new and great here with GRTX. Glad you're up on it though. That is awesome. CXAI, this here did make a really good move. This is still doing a good job building above its VWAP.
Oh, look at that. Rail Vision's back. Thanks, Smoke Tuna.
RVSN is coming back now.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
So look at the daily chart. We had that huge move and then all the way back, and maybe we're starting again here. Oh man, Rail Vision, that thing's so junky. Carvana here continuing to move to the upside here. This is going to 80, it looks like.
I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Naima. Great job on sound. I mean,
yeah,
that's
nice
awesome.
job. Nice job. This has been a multi-day mover here, so the opportunities were vast. Glad someone was able to hit it.
Okay, what's next? Show me something. Saw that Jenks.
That's
making a new high day.
AANX, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is looking pretty good. That's causing trouble. What are you doing? You know you're causing trouble too. Knew it as soon as he did that. He was causing trouble.
Yeah, because he could feel the volume leaving the market. Like that. Now that my time is now.
And actually looking at the market here, I know we sold off out of the open. We bounced. Does look like we're trying to move lower here. The Dow looks like it might want to roll over. The NASDAQ did a really good job bouncing back to where it was. It seems like we might be selling off here though. Dow futures really look like they kind of want to go lower here. How does the IWM look? Let me just take a look at that. The IWM holding up nicely here. That's what we wanted to see. That makes a lot of sense. The portfolio here.
Let's take a look here because I know I've got a lot of levels on the IWM because that was. I mean, this thing's been absolutely smacked around since 2021, and it's the only index really that hasn't, made a return like the other ones have. So I think this one's due. We're moving up really, really good over the past several trading days off the 50-day SMA. I think the big level it needs to get over is 205.50.
Hey, 205.50, not far away from here either. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome if we could take that out.
All right, so I got a sold a little bit of my INOD when it hit 740. So there was that.
742. It looks like you ended up getting there. This is interesting. Riot and Mara's chart looks the same. Jared, you said strange Riot is actually red. Is it though?
You look at Bitcoin.
Yeah, it is. It's unchanged right now, right where it's at right now. 737 is unchanged. 1737 unchanged.
But you look at Bitcoin, and after that move up, to about 57,500, we've just been going sideways since then.
Yeah.
So I think that's leading to some weakness into the stocks that are.
Jay, thank you. I don't have my news feed.
There it is.
Did a secondary last night. God, I should have. Let me see if this is working again.
Okay, so that might be
loading now. Finally.
That's definitely going to be something to watch with some of these Bitcoin names now that we've got one that did it. I mean, there all these Bitcoin names that need to raise cash, and Bitcoin's ripping like it is. They'll probably do offerings to get that cash.
That is a really good point. That's a good spot there by the entire group.
All right, it looks like Zim is trying to push to get over that 1265 level that we put in earlier to go back up to the highs, which is 1270.
CLSK is going to be the leader. That's coming off the bottom.
I agree with that.
Zim here.
Yeah, Zim seems to be trying to make another push for 1265. That seems to be the big level to close over. You see that in the morning we traded up to 1265, came back in, broke through it, got to 1270, couldn't close above 1265, came back in again. Now we're making another visit. We need to see a close, like a 5-minute candle close or more, or other time frame closes above 1265 in order for me to feel confident that this is going higher today.
Okay, definitely not getting that yet. We'll see if we can move through that 1265 there. Jay also mentioning Mara did a convert 2 months ago. So maybe some of these other ones, Riot secondary. Okay, that's it. That's
CXAI new highs.
I think something just got destroyed in my other room. Yeah.
The cat was like, oh, you're going to keep me off the stream? Well, guess what? I'm going to take you off the stream now. AXTI, keep the spike now. Oh, is it going to finally go to 484 like I've been thinking it's going to? I mean, I still maintain that's the target. So if it can get that over that 470, which it seems to have been getting nothing but trouble from that level all morning, 470. We break through that wall, I think we're getting 484. So we'll see if that ends up panning out like that.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Did your cat try to pull you off the stream?
He tried to do a number of things. He tried to rearrange in the bedroom, including pulling stuff off, but I stopped that.
I told you what I tell you.
He's tired of me working. He's done with me sitting on this computer. He wants some attention. He's upset that 13 in the chat get all the attention here in the morning. So INOD continuing to move higher here, 750 now on that INOD move.
Oh, yeah. We'll take it. That's why I didn't sell everything. Let the rest ride. Look at CXAI just still going. And if we get another crossing there, it's probably going to go probably over $3 at some point here soon.
Yeah, $3 test looks like this is coming for sure. Lynn, the birds in the other room. I have to try and manage with it being springtime, the amount of noise, the amount of hunting that goes on when I'm trying to do my job. I have to be able to control some of that. I had way too much going on.
I know it's not in favor right now because of all the things we just talked about, but it looks like Google's trying to get over this this level that it's at 138.30. Yeah, I think if it does that, then it's probably going to try to go for the pre-market highs. At least the next level I have, if it gets over the 65 EMA, is the 200 EMA,
Yeah.
which is at about 139.
You also here, let me bring up this other chart that I was looking at. You also might have your bottom confirmed here, right? This going back to the bottom we made on February 2nd. Looks like now we kind of have like a triple bottom action here on Google. Let's see if this actually goes back. This actually was a former resistance area back in December. Maybe you do get a bounce. This is actually an interesting spot here on Google for a potential bounce.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, it does look like it could go to 139, maybe 140, and then go down further.
Yeah, okay. And then maybe it'll kind of break that, then retest this 135 area. This is an interesting one to watch here. I'm sure this won't be the last time. Yeah, I'm sure this won't be the last time we trade Google.
Good old Google. What up, y'all? I'm back. 13, I know you were doing some DD after I was talking about Road Dog last time. Let's go ahead and pull that chart up again. Again, ticker RWGI, low float cannabis play, mass play, management as a service. So I've got some more color on this press release that went out yesterday. Actually, I can go ahead and pull that up real quick on from Yahoo Finance here. Basically, so Road Dog got a exclusive distribution and sales agreement with D9, one of the largest distillate providers in California. And this is in Coachella, California. You guys, of course, know what's there, that big festival every year. And we know that people that go to Coachella, what do they like to buy? That's drugs. It looks like this is going to be a great deal for the company. I was doing some more, like you, 13, some due diligence on this. At 8 cents, this thing is trading at less than a $15 million market cap and projecting to get $7 million worth of annual revenue. So anytime you can invest in a company that's market cap is only double of its annual revenue, I mean, that's very, very cheap. So if the company is able to hit those numbers in terms of $7 million of annual revenue, and it seems like with these deals, the company's on its way of doing that, there's no reason you wouldn't see this stock pop off from that. So if all goes well here, I mean, I think this thing could be a big winner. Again, you have the low float aspect of it, which means that once this thing starts going up, it could really explode. We've seen that happen in the past couple of years with a bunch of different low float names. So again, Road Dog International, ticker RWGI, a management as a service play in the cannabis space, making some moves out there in California, huge addressable market. I'm excited about this one, guys.
Yeah, I was just trying to look and see what kind of things they had for financials, and I'm not seeing a income statement or balance sheet. So I was just curious about what kind of assets they had. What where their value is being held. And that's what I was just looking into, because that's the questions I had, is like, what does this company actually have in terms of assets?
Well, right. They're working on these deals and stuff. And again, if they execute on this and hit that $7 million revenue, then it could be a winner. I see Christine in the chat saying OTC isn't the way to go for cannabis, and that's fine. But this is one of those plays that it's for people that are willing to take on this risk, buy a cheap stock at 8 cents, knowing that it's got some things going for it, and hoping you get that big pop from there. Because hey, look, I'd rather, I'm okay with investing in a company at 8 cents, knowing that it could, potentially double, triple from there. Again, that's assuming that it hits some of these projection numbers. But again, good things going for it. Some positive press releases coming out the past couple of weeks. I'm excited about this. I'll keep coming in and, maybe throughout the next couple of days and filling you guys in on what's going on with Road Dog. But I'll let you guys get back to it.
I love
That'd be awesome.
I love that you're back, and I love that you've come back with a vengeance, giving us trade ideas, AB. So awesome stuff. Golf season's almost here. Godspeed.
Oh, I've got more and more trade ideas coming for you guys. If you guys will let me keep coming on, I'll keep bringing them to you. But yeah, Ryan, we'll have to, trade ideas aside, we'll have to play some golf soon, and maybe I'll win some money on my trades and win some money that way as well.
You can only come into this show if you say this just in.
Okay, this just in. All right.
AB just dropping in. This just in. We got some new DD for you. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Take care of
AB.
yourself. We are going to be going all the way to 11 here, right? So we still have 14 more minutes. I did see Vic mentioning CXAI setting some new highs here. Yet again, we've had the stock print new highs several times here today. So CXAI, this thing absolutely moving here.
We've got to mention that Viking Therapeutics is about to go. Let me bring this up so I can see what he's.
There you go. Yep.
About
Looks
here.
like this is popping out of the consolidation area here on 70. 70 break. I mean, maybe this thing tests 80. That'd be a wild move.
I want to see a close. I want to see a 5-minute candle close over 72. I think that would be the big indicator for me, because that's 72 seems to be about the big level ever since we've opened that it cannot seem to get over. So if we can break over that it might have legs. So I think 72 is the level, in my opinion.
Yeah, there you go. And I've got, let's see, does that line up with any of these pre-market? Yeah, right in here. And I think probably after that, 77, maybe even 75. Look at Riot, by the way. This continuing to break down. I guess Bitcoin's moving down here too. What happened? Did it not pick up the R? Bitcoin's moving down here too, so that's likely affecting it. Look at that chart here on Riot. Yikes. Also, Carvana, ticker CVNA here. This thing's still squeezing. Carvana, this has been an absolute rager. Look at this, kind of breaking out of this formation here, going higher here. I think 100 print is probably on deck here for Carvana.
Apparently there's a short report on SOU on SoundHound.
Oh, really? From who? Is it hitting the stock?
Capybara Research.
Let's see.
I don't think it's hit it quite yet, but we just got a post on that in the happy hour chat from Zoltan.
Okay, Zoltan's sharp guy has been on top of that. Let me see if I can actually bring this up here. Capybara, I've heard of this, but
okay, here we go. We're up to almost up to 72 here on VKTX.
I'm going with too much stuff going on.
Come on, Ryan. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. You do so much.
I know. It's tough. Carisdale short Carvana.
A lot of short reports coming out. That's
yeah. It'll be interesting to see which ones work and which ones don't too. You know, like that INOD one that worked, but INOD looks like it's trying to move back there. It'll be interesting to see how SoundHound gets hit here.
INOD looks like it's going for 8.
I know. I know. I'm still in it. I'm still in off that rebuy. That'd be fine here. All right. Well, looks like I've got something to read a little bit later on. Go through that short report.
Man, VKTX went all the way up to 71.99 and came back in.
Come here.
Telling you, that 72 level, that's the level to get over. Wisdom, you have a whole orchestra.
UBM rolling over, JMIA, that initial move might be done. IDAI, you know, what's interesting here is that this is actually on the relative volume scanner. Not making the move that I want to see, but we'll see if we get some more volume in it.
Yeah, we just got to be patient with this one.
Got to be patient. That's right.
Going through some of these ones we were looking at this morning. CXAI. If this can hold 250, it might go to 3. That would be the thing I'm watching for next with this one. If it can hold 250 over the next, 15 minutes or so, it probably will hit 3. Well, things are kind of just going sideways, taking a bit of a break here, it seems. Looks like the Bitcoin names aren't doing great.
Yeah, I wanted to see Jay was mentioning CCJ here. Better. Let's see if wise guys start buying calls. So I'm looking here just today because you're making me think about this. I did see a 1,000 contract call buy earlier today. That's the March 1st call, 40.5 strike. I saw 40.5 strike, April 19th call buy. I've seen 2. but nothing I would consider the big boys yet. This is awesome, though. This gives us something to take a look at. Good stuff there, Jay. I'll take a look at that. Didn't see anything yet. Soundhound 11 calls going off right here. Wow.
Ryan and 13 ideas on Walmart. I'm waiting for a lower price. Walmart's going to be one of those that I'm not trading. I'm just going to get in for a long 1 year or longer investment in that one. As I typically do with these dividend players.
I still want Costco, right? So I still want to use some of my cash that is on the sidelines in a Costco investment before I'm looking to buy Walmart. That's the easiest way I can put it there.
So, Wisdom, I don't know if that is more than what they typically sell, but the Walmart owners, they have a very set cycle of selling their shares.
They have the Walton family has been living off those shares for decades now. I hear stories every time I go to Fayetteville to visit my friend who works at Tyson. I would not, we talked about this a little bit earlier in terms of the owner selling shares. I would not put a whole lot into any of the Waltons selling their Walmart shares.
Yeah.
I guess, like 13 is mentioning, if you can find that, hey, this is outside of what they have scheduled and it's abnormal, sure, we'll take a look at that. But in lieu of that, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but for me, I do think this is great company, and I think that this will eventually be worth more than $60 a share. But it's so extended. For one, the RSI is over 75, and I don't want to buy it up here. I'm going to hold this for a long time when I do buy into this, and I'd like it to be closer to 50, maybe even less than 50 if it does that. So I'll have to wait for that to happen. And one more thing about Walmart, because it did just do a split. The thing that I have noticed with these big companies when they split, they'll initially start to trade up, they'll come down for a bit, and then they'll rocket to new all-time highs, and they'll stay up there. So I'm just waiting for the price to come in and get that sell-off after this the split before I get into this and try to capture that movement up. That's my plan. Now, if VKTX can stay above VWAP, I think the next time it tries to take out 72, it probably will succeed. So that would be something I'm going to watch for.
VKTX?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to trade this, but I think that's just based on the price action. That's what it's looking like could happen. We can just hold above VWAP. I don't know how long it would take, but it seems like the next visit to 72, it's gonna give way.
Let's see if we can get back up there here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to roll through a couple of other tickers here that were on the scanner. BBAI, this actually still holding up near the highs. Be interesting to see if that can get over the highs. GOTU, that thing has just been a ramp all day. 2-point move here in GOTU. Thing's been pretty crazy. VHAI, is this another AI name?
And Wisdom, that's exactly one of the companies I was referring to with those those stock splits. It was Tesla and Apple. Well, they did that the same day, and then they're both up now over after that split, pretty handily, I might add. Amazon did the same thing. They're up handily after that split. So yeah, eventually they do go much, much higher after that split. But right after that split, there's maybe a little bit of a pop, but they do go down, and then
profit taking. That's profit taking, as some of those people reduce the amount of shares that they have after they've been given more. After
yes, and it took 2 years to get there, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? That's the plan. That's the plan I'm going with. I'm going to wait for that to come in, and then I'll get it. Finally, AXTI is making the move out of 470.
Look at that. It banged on that 475 for an hour and then finally pushed out of it. Let's go.
Now we just need to get up to that 484 that I've been saying it's going to go to. We'll see if it makes a liar out of me or not. But that 470, that was what I was looking for, that break. Don't know what it's going to do now. If it gets to 484, great. If not, it might have just lost all the buyers to get it up there. All right, so now CXAI went down to 250 250. So this is where I would, if I'm trading this, I would like this to reverse around here.
I'd like this to come into 235. That would make a little bit more sense for me.
Is that about where your VWAP is?
Yeah, that's the one here in Trade the Pool. I can actually get you the one from Trading View here, CXAI. That's actually on the scanner list here. It's quite easy.
And the reason I'm saying 250 and not what you're saying is because I do agree that VWAP is pretty strong. But if you look at the price action this morning when it was trying to get up through 250, that was a big resistance level, turned hopefully support.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about here on the 250. I will say VWAP is identical in Trading View as it is in Trade the Pool. Both of them 235. I think that's probably comes in another 12 cents from here.
Okay. But it seems like we're both on the same page about it getting support to make go on to make new highs. Yeah,
because look what it did the last 2 times it did this.
Mm-hmm.
It went on to make new highs after finding some support at that level. That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Figured if I am trading for life, 2 years is nothing. Absolutely. It's just a drop in the bucket compared to the big game that we're playing. Yeah, NVIDIA did a split. Google did a split. All the Mag 7s did a split. Yeah. And now look at them. Now look at them.
IDAI, this volume is there is someone holding this stock down. There is no question. Every time that the volume starts to flow in, it just gets whacked and taken back down to lows. Doesn't matter what level we clear off here.
That's okay. It's just Wisdom pointed out, if I'm trading for life, I can wait for this thing to get its act together. VFC, JMIA, and Lyft. All new CEOs to go out. Okay, yeah.
CEO replacement, yep.
We talked about this recently with some of these other companies that were doing this, and it does take a couple of earnings cycles for them for investors to really start to see if there's any positive changes happening with that new CEO. Absolutely great point there being made.
Byron, good morning. JTAI. God, we got all these tickers with AI as the last letter. IDAI, CXAI, HXAI, JTAI. I know it's hard for me to keep track of it. That's all. Just JTAI pushing to the highs here now. Do you guys think that the Fed events this week will do much for the market? I want to say no. Right, we have some speakers here. Let me pull up that calendar here.
I think VKTX might be trying to break out of 72 here. Not to take away from what we were talking about there with the Fed events. The Fed events, like what Fed events?
Atlanta Fed President Bostic speaks tomorrow. Then we have Bostic speaking again on Thursday. We have Loretta Mester speaking on Thursday. We have the Dallas Fed president speaking on Friday. We have a number of Fed people speaking today or this week, excuse me. But I'm just not sure how much that's going to have an effect.
If anything, it probably have some effect, but it'll be probably short-lived. I think what's really going to be moving the markets is going to be GDP and PCE.
Okay.
Especially PCE.
All right. So we are going to be getting going here in just a minute, actually less than that. I'm probably a little bit late here. Stick around though. We are going to be back here tomorrow. Stick around and check out the revamped series with Kaiju on Benzinga Live. So Ryan Pennell, CEO and founder of Kaiju Worldwide. Check him out on Benzinga Live. We're sending you over there right now. Redirect's already set. See you tomorrow, folks. Take care.
Bye-bye.